I'm Paul. I'm the creator of Tabletop Tales. Halloween has always been a big favorite of mine. Whether it was the feeling of being afraid by something unknown, or just the whole atmosphere of the holiday itself, I love it. I feel like one of the best traditions are the episode specials. I decided to do something a little different. Instead of a multi-episode series, I wanted to do a one-off with my players. And for those not familiar with the term, a one-off is a singular contained roleplay game, finished usually just in one session, just a fun one-time adventure for me and the players. With my friends Courtney and Luke, we sat down one afternoon and played. Using some simplified D&D mechanics for the gameplay, I wanted to make my own Halloween special, drawing from the many horror inspirations for my own homebrew, for which you're about to hear. I actually had done this adventure before previously. It was done as an actual play. But with some refining and some fine-tuning, I wanted to revisit it. And here it is in its entirety, but in my style. I also wanted to say a quick thank you to all our listeners. I run this podcast myself with the help of my friends lending me their voices and role-playing talent. Without you all, I would have no motivation and drive in finishing these. So thank you for listening. And without further ado, here's my one-off adventure, the Immaterium.
In 2177, humanity stands on the brink of a new era. After decades of relentless advancement, Union Aerospace Corporation has developed the gravity drive engine, a revolutionary propulsion system capable of bending space and time, designed to thrust humanity beyond the solar system and into the vast unknown. The engine is hailed as the dawn of a new age in exploration.
Come now, please. Everyone. Come on, come.
The UAC guide's shrill voice echoes off the expedition ship's large industrial tunnels. Comprised of a mix of lower-class and upper-class crew members, the guide raises their hand to gather the group's attention.
Come along. Come gather in.
Standing sternly, front and center, Dominique Jet, captain of the expedition, listens intently. At 5'9", Dominique was taller and more robust than the other crew members. Her ears were adorned with many piercings, and her hair, a mohawk, was long and flopped to the side. Though highly regarded and respected by her rank, her alternative side was a sign of her inner rebel, ready to bend the rules.
A lot of cooling pipes.
Yes, Captain. The ship is the first of its kind. A breakthrough for mankind and all technology. With that said, one cannot be too careful. The pipes along the walls and the floors contain a coolant, and they run through the entirety of the ship. At the center of the ship is the gravity engine, and with it, the orb, which emits a high amount of energy and heat, thus the coolant. Let's keep moving. There's plenty more to see before the departure.
The group follows the guide and heads deeper into the depths of the vessel.
This ship is equipped with the largest holographic projection room in the fleet, which we call the Holo Room, newly designed. The room can instantly mimic the conditions of anywhere using state-of-the-art projection technology, altering the perceptions of anyone inside to look and feel just like the place projected. A beach, a park, simply input the destination, and bingo!
Dr. Ashton Clarke, a renowned science officer and psychologist, looks intently at the various crude pipe linings in the wall. An older gentleman in his mid-40s, with a buzz cut and a red beard flecked with gray.
Is the whole ship new in design? Some of this looks older than the rest of the vessel.
Yes. Everyone, please. Dr. Ashton Clarke. Good eye. Yes. The lower levels you see around you are older than the rest of the vessel. Unconfirmed reports claim that the Virgil was built from early UAC ship designs.
May we see the gravity drive?
Oh, of course. Yes. Right this way, please. Come along.
The guide ushers the group further down, standing before a metal catwalk leading to a large, hulking reinforced door. Pistons fire as the massive doors release their grip. Exposing a strange, black obsidian sphere, 10 by 10, floating unabated. Clustered around the mysterious orb are a series of technological plates, hovering closely around it, forming a protective barrier. As the group looks on, an uncomfortable feeling begins to settle in them.
Without further ado, at the center of this room lies the gravity drive, and with it, the orb. With it, this journey is even possible. This whole system, nay, ship, was built to harness its raw power.
It's quiet.
Are there people operating this? Is it human-controlled?
Yes, of course. There's a crew assigned to maintain the drive, the cooling, and whatnot. But for the most part, the drive can operate by itself. It just needs to be switched on. Now, once the vessel reaches its jump point destination, just outside the solar system, the gravity drive will be activated for the very first time, setting course for a new world and propelling humanity further than ever before.
Dominique takes a moment to scan the crowd for high-ranking crew like herself. Her gaze lands on a few standouts. A professionally dressed doctor named Dr. Carson serves as the chief medical officer. A small, grime-covered woman dressed in a dirty jumpsuit named Maxine Boudreau, the lead engineer, hardly appears to be listening. A strange, tall man walks out from within the group, dressed in a jumpsuit usually worn by the upper class.
Did we really build that?
The man gestures towards the slow-spinning orb as Dominique focuses on the name tag on his jumpsuit. Andros.
Of course, yes! This is mankind's most incredible creation. A truly magnificent feat of technological engineering. Gaze upon the orb, for it is the future.
Yes. Look at what we've done.
As the group begins to disperse, Ashton pulls out a small notebook, jotting down his thoughts. Suddenly, his book is snatched from his grasp.
What you writing, Doc?
Maxine stares at the pages, unable to decipher Ashton's crude writings.
You writing stuff about us? You're a doctor, right?
I am. Feel free to book an appointment anytime.
I'm not crazy.
Maxine tosses the notebook back to Ashton, who places it in his bag and zips it closed.
We're all a little crazy.
Ashton makes his way to his quarters. The room was his common space and office, laid with bookshelves and cozy furniture. As he entered, the strange man, Andros, stood waiting at the shelf, flipping through the pages of a book from Ashton's copious collection.
Ah, Doctor. I was hoping we'd have a chance to speak.
Okay.
Books. Relics of the past. Some would say this is mankind's most incredible creation.
Ashton walks behind his desk, slumping back into his chair. A sliver of amusement darts across Ashton's face, juxtaposed against Andros, devoid of visible emotion. With a keen perception, Ashton takes notice of Andros' small and subtle details, from his clothes to his mannerisms.
His jumpsuit has no markings or affiliations. What would you think is mankind's most incredible creation?
Certainly not the orb. We may be capable of many things, but that isn't one of them.
What are you capable of?
Andros slowly paces to the exit. With his back to Ashton, he turns his head to answer.
More than meets the eye, Doctor.
He didn't blink once. A predator's gaze.
Ashton retrieves the book that had captured Andros' attention, glancing at the title.
the Odyssey.
Dominique strides down the tunnels, towards the captain's quarters. Numerous crew members salute her as she passes. Having beaten out many people for her position, she had no time for bureaucratic rules.
This place gives me the creeps.
She steps inside the room, dropping a bag containing weaponry on the floor, before sitting behind a command console and scanning the security cameras of the vessel.
Lots of weaponry for an expedition mission. Virgil, this is Captain Dominique Jet, authorization code Tango 01-6-66.
Hello, Captain. How may I be of service?
State mission objectives and parameters.
Affirmative, Captain. Directive 1. Travel to the Demos jump point. Directive 2. Activate the gravity drive at the jump point location. Directive 3. Travel to World 4626, codenamed Minos 3. Establish a human colony and await further instructions.
Virgil, give me a breakdown of Minos 3. What do we know?
Minos 3. Unfortunately, my records are not complete. Its atmospheric conditions are similar to those of Earth, though much smaller. Incomplete scans indicate no signs of life.
Hello, Captain.
Hello, sir.
May I come in?
Be my guest.
Andros slowly enters the room, his eyeline catching the bag of weaponry sprawled out on the floor.
Do we need those, Captain?
Well, I'm here to ensure that we don't.
I've come to see if you hold any more information on the mission.
Just what's been briefed to the crew.
Do you know more than you're letting on?
I could say the same about you. What's your purpose on this ship?
Think of me as a unnecessary contingency.
Yes. What would we have done without your warm presence on board?
Careful, Captain. You might need me more than you think. Come, we're needed on the bridge. The launch is approaching quickly, and we're about to make history, Captain. You might want to change into something a little more formal for the occasion.
She watches Andros exit the room, leaving her with a deep dislike and distrust.
Virgil, contact the crew leads. I want to check and double-check everything before we ship out.
Of course.
Captain?
Is everything ready for launch?
Affirmative, Captain. We're all set.
Stretching his legs, Ashton takes note of the many amenities available on the ship. From the many mess halls, showers, and living quarters, the ship seems to be more than equipped for the long journey ahead. Bursting with curiosity, Ashton explores the depths deeper, arriving at a closed security door.
Access denied. Odd.
With his curiosity left wanting, Ashton departs for the bridge. The crew scrambles to their stations, making their final checks and preparations. Dominique strides onto the bridge, assuming her position in the captain's chair.
This is Captain Dominique Jet of the Virgil. Crew to their stations for final preparations. Launch is in 3 minutes. Virgil, begin the initial launch sequence.
Affirmative, Captain. The engines are ready. Awaiting your command.
Dominique looks ahead at the many bright screens with various data readouts. Out of her periphery, Andros' eerie, unblinking gaze stays locked on her presence.
God, this dude needs to fucking lay off.
Dominique beckons with her hand for the 2 closest security officers beside her, signaling Officer Woods to come closer.
I've spent enough time in the jungle to know a snake when I see one. Keep an eye on Andros.
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, hold on to your butts. Launch in.
Unnerved at the thought of the ship's name, Virgil, Ashton buckles himself into his seat and peers out the window.
3.
Hope not ever to see heaven. I come to lead you to the other shore.
2.
Into the eternal darkness, into fire, and into ice.
1.
The rainy horizon quickly begins to disappear as the massive ship rises into the atmosphere, pushing itself through the clouds at an alarming rate. The sheer force of the liftoff exerting large amounts of G-force on everyone on board. As quickly as it began, it ended. The ship leaves its confines of gravity, entering into the weightless emptiness of space.
Set course for Jump Point Alpha. Time to destination, approximately 3 months.
Captain, the cryogenic pods are being calibrated as we speak. The ship's gravity drive is fully intact and stable, with gravity generators operating at an optimal 9.807 meters per second.
Are all systems functional?
Of course, Captain. I've run a diagnostic on the life support system. Good news. It's working perfectly, for now. But if you hear a hiss, let's just say it might be your last breath of fresh air.
Virgil, what are your current humor settings?
75%, Captain.
Make it 10%.
Confirmed. 10%.
Prepare the pods quickly. I don't want to spend any longer than I have to awake.
Affirmative, Captain.
Relieved at the success of the liftoff, Dominique and the other crew members make their way to their quarters as they prepare for the long sleep. Anxiously, Dominique checks her firearms.
Captain, there's an incoming message from the ship's lower levels. The engine rooms.
Hey, Cap. We got a problem. There's a major leak in the cooling systems. No coolant, no pods.
Can it be repaired?
Of course, but the problem is time. Gonna take a few days.
How many?
Without seeing the problem and just estimating 7, maybe more.
Right, get on it. I'll inform the rest. This is Captain Dominique Jet of the Virgil. There's no need to be alarmed. The ship has incurred a cooling issue with the pods. Get cozy. We have a delay in cryostasis for a week, maybe more. If you have concerns, you know where to find me.
The unforeseen cooling problem was unfortunate, halting any use of the pods till Maxine and the other engineers had it fully repaired. As the days went on, Dr. Ashton Clarke began to receive frequent appointments from the crew members of the lower levels. All have the same reoccurring issues, ranging from a lack of sleep.
Thanks for seeing me, Doc. I usually don't go to these things.
What seems to be the problem?
I've been having these nightmares. Horrible nightmares.
Please, let's look into that. Tell me more about these dreams.
With Ashton tending to the weary crew, Dominique begins to delve deeper into the mission details, searching for hidden parameters and red flags.
What the hell? Why can't I access these files?
It appears you haven't been cleared to access them.
I'm the captain. How can I not have been cleared?
Apologies, Captain. My responses to the matter are limited.
Surprised to see you here, Andros.
May we speak privately, Captain?
I don't see anyone else here. Come in.
Captain, what is the purpose of Dr. Clarke?
Dr. Clarke is at the top of his class, renowned in multiple fields of expertise. I've heard he's been immensely helpful to the crew at the lower levels experiencing night terrors.
Rankings aside, what do you know of this?
Andros slides a paper folder containing documents on Dr. Clarke's secretive military background. Redacted black marks are splayed across the pages, and a gap of 10 years is missing from the files.
The most troubling I've found is this. 10 years, missing, unaccounted for.
Well, I can't say I have any reason not to trust him. He's been helping the crew. I still don't know why you're on this ship, Andros.
Andros grabs the files before heading to the door, standing in the doorway, turning his head ever so slightly in response.
Like I said before, you may think of me as a unnecessary backup plan.
Yeah, I could say unnecessary.
As the days pass, the effects on the crew begin to worsen. Sleep becomes a rare and nightmarish event, with Dominique and Ashton experiencing personal terrors. Every night as their eyes close in anticipation of rest, they are thrust into the same recurring dream, almost tangible to the touch. Ashton drifts off to sleep, awakening in the misty Scottish plains.
Hello? Hello?
Ashton walks towards an eerie, still black lake. The mist was thick surrounding it. Suddenly, something in the water, a shape, begins to break the still water, moving towards Ashton.
Come out. Who's there? Just a dream.
Meanwhile, that same night, Dominique finds herself as a child again, surrounded by the kids from her distant past, in a boarding school she always hated.
No one will ever love you if you're not normal. Wretched child. It's in the isolation room. You.
No, please!
Vile child.
No, please! The rats bite! The rats bite! No! A dream.
Alarmed and concerned, Ashton pays Captain Dominique a visit himself. As he raises his hand to meet the door, it opens.
Captain, do you have time to go over some reports? Some of the crew, specifically those stationed near the gravity device, seem uneasy.
Of course.
I also wanted to touch base with you about Andros. I can't shake the suspicion that something deeper is going on.
There are gaps in knowledge with specific individuals, like Andros. He made a strange comment on being an unnecessary contingency. Speaking of gaps, given that we're working together, I'm also interested in knowing the gaps in your history.
I did a bit of traveling.
Ashton turns to exit the room with Dominique poring over the reports given to her, pausing at the open door.
This may sound odd, but have you had any weird dreams lately?
I mean, I've gone on a lot of missions. I've never been this unsettled.
Ashton nods knowingly before leaving.
Well, you're certainly not alone. My door is always open.
After much anticipation, Maxine and her team successfully repaired the damaged coolant valves necessary for cryosleep. The ship's crew breathed a sigh of relief, hoping to achieve a full night's rest.
Excuse me, Dr. Carson.
Hey, come in.
Ashton walks in and is greeted by a classical score, playing throughout the room. Dr. Carson cheerfully operates on a medical practice cadaver, poking and prodding at the dummy's open cranium.
Apologies. Thought you were free.
Free as a bird. What's on your mind, Dr. Clarke?
All this time, and I don't think we've formally met. So I came to introduce myself, from one man of science to another. So tell me, Doc, how's the patient load been?
Yeah, some weird dietary problems, lack of sleep. Didn't think much of it. Possibly stress-related issues? Maybe nothing more. You're speaking with the crew in the lower levels?
And not just them.
We've done all we can, even checking the area for potential gas leaks.
So, nothing out of the ordinary?
Nothing. Hey, I got you here. You ever think about what you'll do when we get there? Maybe there'll be a beach we can finally relax.
Well, I haven't given it much thought. Happy, healthy people. That's my game. What brings you here?
Who wouldn't want to make history, right?
Let me first do some great thing which should be told among men hereafter.
Iliad? A classic.
As Ashton and Dr. Carson catch up, Dominique goes down to the lower levels, into the ship's bowels to follow up with Maxine, the ship's head engineer.
The ship. Were you present when they built it?
What's got you riled up? You seem on edge.
Yeah, you could say that. So what do you know about the ship?
I was there for some of it.
Maxine scans the area for prying eyes, leaning in closer to answer Dominique.
Come here, look at this.
Maxine subtly gestures to the strange, alien-like markings around the outer doors of the gravity drive, hidden away by panels and pipes.
See that? That's not us. That's not human.
Are you telling me that this wasn't built by us?
They love to take the credit, but I think they found and built around it.
They?
Yeah, humans. Look at me. Do you think we could build something like that?
Maxine, how are you feeling about this mission?
I've been on a lot of crews. Done my fair share of serving the UAC. But this is something else. Just being here makes me sick, like to my stomach. The sooner we get to Minos, the better.
Right.
How old do you think you have to be before retiring?
What are you, 25? 26?
24.
Fuck. Okay. Let's keep this between us.
Roger, Cap.
Dominique leaves Maxine and the giant, hulking doors of the gravity drive. Meanwhile, Ashton flips through his notes regarding the crew, searching for answers or clues to the strange occurrences.
Virgil, are there any strange anomalies located around the gravity drive? Atmospheric changes, radiation?
No, Doctor. All readings appear normal. 0 emissions detected.
What about brainwaves? Do you have any readings on that?
Crew members have had higher than normal brainwave functions detected, specifically during REM sleep.
Tell me, Virgil, do you dream?
An interesting question, Doctor. I occasionally experience unintended simulation glitches in my programming. Could that be dreaming? How would one know? Are we dreaming now?
Now that, Virgil, is an interesting question.
Sitting alone in an empty mess hall, Dominique takes advantage, helping themselves to unattended trays of food before making their way back down to the depths of the ship.
Such strange writing.
As she gazes towards the writing Maxine had pointed out earlier, an eerie sense of danger washes over her, her heart rate pulsing as if it were the orb behind those walls.
It seems like there's more behind here. There's more. It's ingrained, almost molded to it, raised even. Odd. Wait, I feel like I know this. I've seen this before. It's a warning. Or it's a threat? The symbol, it's either do not or be careful.
The middle level of the ship begins to fill with crew members, all donning UAC cryo protection suits, scurrying quickly to their designated pods, with Dominique, Ashton, and other high-ranked members stationed nearby together. Stepping into the glass pods, the doors seal shut.
Please relax while the cryo system begins. You may experience some brief discomfort. Good night, Captain. I'll see you in 3 months at the jump point.
The pods begin to fill with warm water as a breathing tube appears in front of the occupants. Fully submerged, they begin to drift off. Deep in cryosleep, they begin to dream that familiar dream they've come to know so well. But this time, it was different.
Who's there?
Ashton's face drops in terror as a woman begins to rise from the black lake. Where the dreams had ceased before, this one continued. Ashton looks on in horror, with blackened eyes, pale, stretched skin, and a hospital gown draped over her. She calls to him.
Mother?
His mother embraces him tightly, pulling him closer and closer into the black waters.
Let go! You're not her!
Ashton is dragged into the watery depth. Now alone, surrounded by a black abyss, a strange heartbeat emanates around him. The orb floated ominously, looming closer to Ashton. Alone, locked away in that familiar room that she had known for many years in her youth, when suddenly that similar sound beckoned again. As the beating grew louder, a shape began to form in the darkness.
What is that?
Every step Dominique took left a concerning crunch. Then another. She had been standing on rats. Waves and waves of rats moving and flowing like an ocean floor of bodies beneath her feet. The orb, once again floating menacingly above, moving closer to Dominique, the orb pulsing with the flow of rats.
What? What's happening?
Apologies, Captain. There appears to have been an anomaly in my programming, resulting in a delayed response to the cryo wake-up sequence.
How late are we?
I'm afraid we're 2 hours away from the jump point vector.
Jeez, we were supposed to have a week to prepare for that.
This is Captain Jet. All crew members immediately report to their workstations to begin the jump point vector sequence. This is not a drill.
The pods begin to open, revealing the crew's worried expressions as they learn about their situation. Ashton hastily returns to his quarters, only to find it tussled. Books and papers are scattered throughout the room.
What a mess.
He searches through the debris, looking for a recording device he had sneakily placed earlier, only to discern the device was missing.
And my journal's missing, too.
Where are we at, Virgil?
Preparations have been set as much as possible, Captain. 7 minutes to the jump point.
Proceed forward. Get your asses in gear, folks.
Captain, I apologize. I know this may be a bad time, but my room's been burglarized.
Wait, what? Just moments ago we were in cryosleep. Sure it wasn't you?
The place has been ransacked. A number of my personal effects are missing. Nothing particularly valuable. I just felt it's something you should know.
Thank you for telling me. That's incredibly concerning. You'll have to understand that we can't investigate this matter now.
Of course. Understood.
Virgil, check the logs during the cryosleep sequence.
My apologies, Captain. My log seems missing or fragmented. The data is unreadable. This is quite alarming. Data does not go missing.
Virgil, on a private note, I'd like to monitor crewmate Andros.
I'm sorry, Captain. There is no one under the crew manifest under the name or alias of Andros.
What? What do you mean?
2-minute warning to the jump point, Captain.
In the distance, a spherical black hole appears, illuminated by data codes and calculations on the heads-up display of the ship.
Brace yourselves. Everyone strap into your positions.
In mere moments, the ship begins to approach. The sheer, immense size of the black hole enlarges as they draw closer. Time and space warp around them as the sphere begins to take the shape of a tunnel, the universe wrapped around them.
Activate the gravity drive.
Creating a kaleidoscope of colors from the warping light around them, the universe appears to wrap around them like a piece of fabric. In mere moments they emerge, unfamiliar with the constellations surrounding them, finding themselves in an unknown star system.
Congratulations, Captain. You've just made history. Coordinates have been set for Lumos 3.
Captain, something's wrong with the gravity door mechanism. They won't shut.
Strange. I'll be right there. Maxine, I need your expertise.
Roger.
Dominique and Maxine make haste for the ship's underbelly, deeper down into the lower levels that housed the gravity drive orb.
Ugh, do we have to be down here? Can't Virgil bypass the mechanism? This place gives me the creeps.
Virgil, bypass security protocols and close the main blast doors to the gravity drive.
Right away, Capt.
What the fuck just happened?
Maxine?
Don't yell at me. I don't know what's happening.
Can it be fixed?
The backup generator should hold for a few hours. Shortwave radio frequencies should still be up and running. I'll try to get the main power back on, but it might take a while.
Make it so. I'll head back, check on the rest of the crew.
All right, radio in once in a while. Really don't want to be here alone.
Dominique takes one last look over her shoulder at the ominous orb, still floating in place, before navigating the few dimly lit emergency lights, illuminating her path back to the bridge. With their hands full with the circumstances at hand, Ashton trails Andros as he weaves through the dark corridors. Andros approaches a sealed security door, leaning his face close as a beam of light scans his eye.
What is he up to?
As the door begins to shut, Ashton sneakily dashes forward.
What is this? Never seen this section of the ship.
Keeping his distance, Ashton trails after Andros as he enters a small command center. The center is circular and filled with an array of lights and various systems, all functioning on emergency power. Andros sits in the center, typing frantically. Alone on the bridge, Dominique continues to uncover the source of the power outage, glancing out of the large windows at the lifeless body of the ship.
Security personnel to my position.
Sir.
Head down into the lower levels and oversee Maxine. Keep her safe while she works.
Yes, sir.
You, come with me. There are electrical signals coming from the secure part of the ship. We're gonna head down there now.
While wandering down the corridors, the beeps of the navigation computer echo in Dominique's hand as she nears a secured door.
The signal is coming through this door. Oh, bullshit! I'm the captain of this ship! Maxine? You copy? Maxine?
Yeah, Cap?
Any other way into Sector 13-1?
Not that I know of. Pop open the door panels and see if the wiring can be bypassed.
Dominique and her security personnel remain barred behind the doors. Ashton stays hidden inside the control room with Andros, watching intently as he types away at a console.
Doctor, feel free to have a seat if you intend on watching.
It's hard to find my way in the dark.
Yes, Doctor, this is a problem I hope to rectify soon. Care to illuminate me regarding your presence? Or have the lights gone out there as well?
Anything I can do to help?
As a matter of fact, yes. Take this device and plug it into the Hollow Room 1.
Hollow Rooms?
Yes, the Hollow Rooms. They should be powered down but have a direct link to the main generators. Once plugged in, the device should hopefully create a jump start to restore the power.
That doesn't seem too difficult. Let me see what I can do.
Though hesitant, Ashton agrees, taking the small device with him. He paces quickly down the corridors to the exit.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! Dr. Ashton Clarke.
Captain.
Care to explain what you're doing coming out of a highly secured sector of the ship?
Well,
I hope you have a great reason to be behind a door I can't even seem to get through.
I thought someone should keep a close eye on Andros. I'm hoping to get the power back on. And with that, Virgil.
Opening his hand, Ashton reveals the small device Andros has entrusted to him.
Why does Andros have a device to jumpstart the ship?
Great question.
One I intend to find out.
Brushing past Ashton, Dominique and her security officer power through towards the command center. Hesitating again, Ashton follows behind the others towards Andros's last location.
Hold up, you don't seem well.
You head back up. We'll go ahead.
He's right, you're relieved of duty. Head back up to the bridge.
As he turns to leave, the security officer pauses, his shoulders and back arched in a pained demeanor, quietly muttering to himself.
You're dismissed, officer. You hear me?
With a snap of bones and tendons, Officer Curtis's body warps itself into an ungodly abomination before them.
Officer Curtis?
Stand down!
The creature that was once Officer Curtis lunges forward, knocking Dominique down along with the gun. Its talons inches away from a killing blow as Dominique musters every bout of strength against it.
You all right? You're bleeding.
I'm good. Thanks, Doctor. That move with your knife is not something they teach you in basic training.
Well, I used to do a lot of traveling.
They begin to examine what remains of Officer Curtis. Hollow and withered away, his body appears shell-like, an empty vessel of what once was, decomposing before their very eyes.
If you two are quite finished, I request your presence in the command center. As I understand, you need to still place the device, right, Doctor? Need I remind you, the life support systems will fail if the power isn't reactivated.
Yes, I do. It's just the captain's got questions for you.
First off, stop. Stop typing.
I am complying. No need to point your weapon at me, Captain.
Tell me who you are.
I am the Chief Science Officer, Andros Valiant.
Who you really are.
I am Unit V-1R-G11, a synthetic being, placed aboard this ship to ensure UAC's mission protocols are kept.
Go on.
I am meant as a contingency plan in the case of an AI system failure.
What do you know about the gravity drive?
Well, it's old. Much older than we realized. An ancient artifact unearthed in the depths of the Pacific Oceans of Earth. Composed of isotopes not found of this universe. Its unique frequency was traced back to this.
Minos 3.
Correct, Captain. The distance was too vast. But with the technology, UAC could harness a fraction of its power, building the ship around it as a conductor, creating the first ever gravity drive, bending space and time itself. We are simply returning to the source.
And is all this part of the plan?
Unfortunately, we didn't account for this.
We have 200 crew members on board. We have to prevent what happened to Officer Curtis from happening to them.
I'm afraid it's too late for them.
The monitor screen flashes on. The trio stared at the footage of the crew possessed, violently attacking one another in gruesome, horrific ways, one after the other.
My God.
They're killing each other.
I believe I've managed to seal off that portion of the ship, trapping most of them inside. For how long, I don't know.
Some might have escaped. How many survived?
Only a handful of survivors exist, like ourselves, Captain. If we do not regain power, we will continue to drift off course and into the vastness of space with little to no life support.
Right. We have no choice but to continue on to Minos 3. We have to get that power back up.
The hollow room, Captain. Plug the device into the back main wall system. With no power, the room should be empty and easy to navigate. You must enter through an emergency panel and exit through Mr. Dr. Carson's quarters. The main hollow room doors will be sealed shut.
Ashton and Dominique rush down the dark, winding corridors of the ship. Possessed crew members stumble about in the darkness as the pair sneaks by, horrified by the gruesome scenes that they witness as they pass.
We're here.
They enter a room filled with the metallic smell of blood. The area was littered with dismembered limbs of the unknown crew members. Readying their weapons, the pair maneuver slowly and quietly.
Dr. Carson? What's going on?
Their weapons raised to the back of a blood-drenched Dr. Carson as he slowly turns towards the pair behind him, his face and eyes missing, leaving the raw, red, fleshy muscles behind his face exposed.
Not great.
We need to move quickly.
Moving to the back as instructed, Ashton and Dominique glance at the poor soul on the operating table.
They're gone. Keep moving.
Reaching the emergency hatch, they hear the sound of bones and flesh contorting behind them. Dr. Carson's body contorts into a spider-like abomination, forcefully crunching its shape to escape through a small vent.
Do you think they're going to the orb?
It's possible. First things first. We need to get the power back on.
Sliding the vent panel open, Dominique and Ashton enter the massive room. Along its walls are numerous cables, pipes, and high-tech holographic projectors lining the ceiling.
Come on.
Looks empty.
Freeze. Did you hear that?
Yeah, we're not alone in here. Let's head to the panel. Watch my back. Hold on.
A surge of electricity bursts from the panel.
Ashton! Ashton! Come on! Come on!
Did it work?
The lights and ship's system ignite, activating the hollow room projectors to display the last requested rendering of a heavily wooded forest, complete down to the last speck of bark, a cool breeze, and the smell of fresh grass.
Shit.
Captain.
Virgil, I'm glad to hear your voice again. Something has gone horribly wrong. Corpses crawling on the walls and the ceilings.
Oh my, Captain. I'm detecting heavy movement in your current area. I've corrected course from Minos 3.
Yes, head straight to Minos 3.
I have attempted to signal Earth, but the signal will take time to reach them.
Keep trying.
Virgil, can you turn off the hologram projections in Hollow Room 1?
The holographic projection of the forest flickers on and off, revealing a large, spider-like creature in the distance. Its arms and legs are an amalgamation of the crew's bodies.
Unfortunately, my systems are still reactivating. The main power is diverted to the engines and life support. Please stand by for 10 minutes.
We don't have 10 minutes. We need to get out of here.
Go! Keep going!
Make for the walls.
Their hearts beat furiously as they run, the creature drawing closer to the sound of Dominique's rampant gunfire.
It's tracking our movements. This forest hides us as much as it hides them.
She activates her handheld radio and tosses it across the holographic field, demonstrating an inhumane amount of strength.
Okay. I think it worked. We did it! We made it out of...
Nearing the exit, inches from the door, the creature returns, latching onto Dominique. Wrestling in its grasp, she manages to impale her combat knife along its hold, tossing her free.
Quick, Dom, the door! That was close.
Thanks. Good timing with the door. Virgil, how long until we reach Minos 3?
Estimated time to Minos 3, 10 minutes.
Ashton, to the bridge. We can lock ourselves inside.
Right.
Captain, I'm picking up strange energy readings from the gravity orb. It appears to be activating.
Shut down all power systems to the orb.
Right away, Captain. Commencing gravity drive shutdown.
As they reach the bridge, they pore over the command consoles, desperately searching for survivors among the various monitor screens. They stop at one depicting Maxine, in an almost sleep-like state, walking towards the airlock chamber.
Maxine! Max, where are you going?
Do not be afraid. Our fate cannot be taken from us. It is a gift. Maxine releases the door to the chamber and enters inside. Her eyes shut closed, muttering as she steps forward. From there, we came outside and saw the stars. The entry door shuts closed, sealing Maxine in as the chamber begins airlock sequence.
Max, stop! Max, stop!
Airlock sequence engaging.
Maxine, you're dreaming. Listen to our voices. You need to wake up.
Captain, opening the airlock during atmospheric re-entry will be catastrophic. I can't seem to access the airlock shutdown procedures for Bay 1.
Maxine's eyes flutter open, confused and afraid, her usual cool demeanor gone as she panics.
What? Hey, Cap? Dom? Please let me out! Please! Let me out!
Virgil, how far to airlock Bay 1?
5 minutes to bridge.
I'll make it in 2.
Maxine, Dominique is on her way. You'll be fine. Just listen to my voice.
Oh God, oh my God! I don't want to die, please! Please, I don't want to die!
Red warning lights flood the chamber as the atmosphere begins fading. With tears beginning to form, Maxine pounds her fists, crying out, frantically peering out the small window into the ship. Bursting around the corner was Dominique, seconds away from the airlock hatch and manual override panel.
I'm right here, Max. I'm right here.
Summoning every ounce of strength she had left, Dominique pulls back the manual override lever, releasing the door lock just as the airlock opens.
Sealing airlock blast doors.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Tightly grasping onto Dominique was Maxine. Quiet and pale, she held on tight. The trio watched from the bridge as the ship breached the atmosphere. Parting through the clouds, they could see the hellish, red hue of the landscape. Minos 3 was a barren, dry wasteland.
Captain, we have arrived on Minos 3. I am sorry to report that my earlier attempts to shut down the gravity drive have failed. The gravity drive strangely reactivated as we landed. Captain, I'm reading biosignatures just outside the ship. It appears to be intelligent life forms.
Well, maybe they're friendly.
Right. Suit up. We'll stick together and take a look.
Donning UAC life support suits, the group arms themselves with any weaponry they can find, stepping out into the barren, alien wasteland.
Eyes peeled. Stay close.
In the distance, large, humanoid demonic monsters stride towards the trio and the ship. And suddenly, a few become many as hordes of horrific creatures with teeth and talons surround the group.
Captain, the orb has initialized.
What do you mean?
The orb has collapsed and created a self-contained wormhole. I'm detecting a life form exiting from within.
What?
Yes. It's large and nearing your position now.
Max, hand me my big gun.
Here goes nothing.
Loading their weapons, they stare out at the seemingly endless hordes of demonic creatures, gnashing and gnawing at the flesh that stands before them. From the depths of the ship, pacing out from the bay doors behind the trio, stands a behemoth of a man, cloaked in the armor of the UAC Space Marines.
In the
first age, in the first battle, when the shadows first lengthened.